So good morning. The last time I shared anything, I shared a bunch of deep burdens on my heart. And I said, maybe this will be my breakthrough. Now, the first thing I think of when I think of a breakthrough is an immediate break in my spirit where everything gets better. But then I needed to remember that oftentimes things get worse before they get better. There's a reason why there's a breakthrough. It's because you cannot continue. It has to get to a breaking point. They say that when you're about to give birth, that the pain becomes absolutely unbearable and you just can't take it any longer, and then you give birth. Well, that's kind of what has been happening. The pain has increased, the tensions, the strife, the things like that are actually getting worse. And I was listening to some worship music, songs I haven't heard in a while, and all of those hurt feelings just kind of rose to the surface, and I just cried before God and said, I just can't take this. Please take it from me. And we have to get to that point. We cannot do this on our own, and we need to recognize that that is where we need to be, because when I am weak, then I am strong. And I've been asking myself lately, what am I learning out of my Bible study each day, and how is this supposed to impact me? And I've been reading in 2 Samuel, where David becomes king. And I have just read about where David danced before the Lord, and every 6 steps they would sacrifice and things like that. And Michal looked upon him and she despised him in her heart. And today's reading is, well, and I know what happens, so I didn't have to read very far before I just started writing. It's about when David stays back from when kings go to war in 2 Samuel 11, and he sees Bathsheba bathing on the rooftop. Okay, so here's what I have. It was understood thing that kings went to battle, but David stayed back. He let Joab do his work for him. Sometimes others can do work for us, but it doesn't mean they're supposed to do it. We have to be in close communication with the Father and have him guide our decisions at all times. Did David ask God whether he should stay back, or did he just do it and justify his actions? How many times have I just justified what I'm doing? It's really because that's what I wanted to do. It isn't because that's what would give God glory, or it really had to do with lifting myself up. You will never win an argument with God. You're always wrong, and he's always right. And sometimes I try to win an argument with God. Okay, many times. And then I have to step back and I have to think, you're never going to win. He's always right. You can manipulate facts, situations, and even people, but God cannot be manipulated. So yesterday, while cleaning out my phone, because I have a very small memory on my phone and it was at capacity, I came across the last conversation I had with my sister. And she said things that sounded legit and completely condemned me. They had me completely at fault, and made me to be a very proud person who refused to see what was right in front of them because I had to be right. Now, I'll be completely honest. I have been that person many times in my life. I try to do self-examinations of my heart, my conscience, and the situations often to not let this happen anymore. I've been working on this for many, many years, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. When someone confronts you, you need to take what they said and analyze it. Just because it sounds legit and true doesn't mean it is. In almost every situation, there is not just one side to blame. All people involved have some sort of responsibility for what happened. We must also look at the reason for the confrontation. Why are you saying what you're saying? What is motivating you to say it? Are you afraid for their eternal salvation, for their walk with God, their safety, their future? Are they going to be in danger if this continues? Or are you like Michal when David danced before the Lord? She wanted to bring him down, condemn and embarrass him because she was angry and maybe even hated him. I believe this is because he was righting a wrong when she took him from her second husband that King Saul gave to her. If you remember back, David said that Michal belonged to him, and her husband cried after him after them for quite a long time until they finally said, just give it up, you're not going to win. And I believe she was really mad at this situation, and it never got better. The bitterness in her heart just continued to stew and fester, and she blamed David for all of this. So when she saw him dancing before the Lord, she looked at this as just an opportunity to bring him down and cast judgment on him. So my family, when we argue, this is how I grew up. We go for the jugular. We go to inflict the absolute most amount of pain. And everything is on the table. Everything can be used, and it doesn't matter. You go for the most amount of hurt. And if you do that, then somehow you win. It doesn't make sense. Somewhere around 2017, 2018, I looked at the reason for my actions when I was angry, when I yelled, condemned, said mean things. Why was I doing that? What did I get out of it? Well, it really was to make the other person feel bad, to hurt them because I was hurt. And I thought that it was to show them that they hurt me. When you look back and when you really think about what's going on, they know they hurt you. You don't have to inflict more pain upon them. I didn't need to twist the knife any further. It's almost like I was trying to guarantee that they knew that they hurt me because I didn't trust that they actually cared that they hurt me. And this was to hurt them because they hurt me. It's pretty messed up. So I was doing all of that to ensure that they were in pain because I was in pain. And what does that say about me, my walk, and my intentions? So when my sister said all those things, even if all of it was completely true, what did she gain out of it? And I remember asking her, do you feel better now that you said all those things? And she said, yeah, kind of. And that says a lot about where she is and who she is at that moment. And I will tell you that those words never left my head and my heart. They constantly stew around. And what happens, because she refused to allow me to talk to her and to share and to work out what was clearly not truly the situation, is I had to just stew on those words because she didn't want to hear the other side. She wanted to be right. She wanted to hurt me because I hurt her in situations, and it wasn't going to get better no matter what I said or did. And so my encouragement today is, when you get frustrated, because everybody gets frustrated, everybody gets upset, everybody's feelings get hurt, we need to look before we say anything. What are we going to get out of saying something? Now, there's nothing wrong with sharing how someone hurt us, but how are we saying it? Are we saying it so that we can inflict the most amount of pain? Or are we saying it so that we can find resolution and peace and come together again and love one another? Are they going to be licking their wounds and hurt? And are you going to have to apologize? Because if you are you doing it the right way? Are you doing it the godly way? Because when God comes to us and he shares something with us that upsets him, we don't walk away just feeling like a piece of garbage. We walk away going, you know what? I screwed up. I need to fix this. And I am sorry that I hurt you. But it's never, you're a piece of garbage and look at how stupid and awful and selfish you are. That never comes from God. Condemnation never comes from God. Conviction comes from God. So that's where I am today. By the way, you like my strawberry shortcake shirt? It's pretty awesome.